To obtain the APPI pilot license, you need to perform a few tests. These include making a U-shaped approach, completing a precision landing within a 30-meter diameter, and performing 2 specific flight maneuvers. The first test involves making 2 consecutive 360-degree turns to the same side, ending in the same heading as the one you started, all within 25 seconds, and without any pitching. The second test requires performing 2 360-degree turns, one to the right and the other to the left, within 30 seconds. Between the turns, the wing must stabilize and face the same initial heading before continuing. At the end of these turns, you must finish aligned with the same initial heading, ensuring the glider does not pitch. Only then will the instructor count the total time. If you take too long to stabilize the wing, you could exceed the 25 seconds in the first test or the 30 seconds in the second. It's important to perform relatively quick turns, finishing exactly on the initial heading without allowing the wing to pitch, since these tests require making relatively steep and efficient turns. You must meet certain conditions. 1. Adequate altitude. These tests should never be practiced or evaluated at low altitude. First, being too low could result in hitting the ground during the test. Second, if you rush the turn, the glider could stall, spin, or experience a one-sided stall. Negative. Adequate altitude gives you time to recover from these issues. 2. A reserve parachute. For safety, you must always have a reserve. Never attempt these tests, no matter how simple they may seem, without carrying a reserve parachute. 3. Using your own paraglider. It's crucial to fly a glider you are familiar with, one that you trust and is in good condition. Make sure it has passed porosity and trim tests, so it doesn't stall unexpectedly or abruptly. Once you meet these conditions, you can start practicing the tests to ensure you pass them during your evaluation. Demonstrating the first test. The first test involves completing 2 consecutive 360-degree turns to the same side within a maximum of 25 seconds. Some tips. 1. Clearly establish your initial heading. In this example, it will be Morro Solar, the mountain directly ahead. 2. Start the turn using your entire body, adjusting the turn speed with the brake. 3. Exit the turn about 45 degrees before reaching your initial heading by gradually releasing the brake. Let's begin. I start the turn using my whole body and adjusting with the brake. First turn. Maintaining good speed, finished. Starting the second turn. Adjusting with the brake. And as I approach the exit, I release the brake gradually to finish facing the mountain without pitching. I had to exit the maneuver early because I was running low on altitude. I immediately headed toward the ridge after finishing the test. You can see how much altitude is lost during this maneuver. Starting without sufficient altitude risks not completing the test, or worse, hitting the ground. Demonstrating the second test. This maneuver requires making 1 360-degree turn to the right, stabilizing, then making another turn to the left. You must finish aligned with the initial heading, ensuring the wing does not pitch. My initial heading will again be Morro Solar. Let's begin. I start to the right, exaggerating body movement and fine-tuning with the brake. At about a quarter turn, I release the brake slightly and return my body to neutral. The glider aligns perfectly with the initial heading. Now to the left, using my body again, adjusting with the brake. As I approach the exit, I release the brake, return my body to neutral, and align with the initial heading, no pitching. Notice how there's no need for an extreme turn. A controlled, efficient turn is sufficient. Tips. 1. Use as much body movement as possible to initiate the turn, adjusting lightly with the brake. 2. Gradually release the brake about a quarter turn before exiting. Use your body as much as possible and adjust lightly with the brake. This approach helps you finish the test without risking a stall or a spin, and it ensures you complete it within the time limit. Typically, the first test takes between 15 and 20 seconds, and the second between 20 and 25 seconds. There's no need to rush. Focus on body movement and know when to exit the turn. Gradually release the brake and return your body to neutral during the final quarter turn. This ensures the glider has no residual speed or inertia, preventing pitching and saving time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any additional tips or recommendations for pilots preparing for these tests, feel free to share them in the comments. Thank you for watching.